Section 1. The Hungry Ones. The Preta, known across many Southeast Asian cultures, are spirits of insatiable hunger, souls cursed by their sins to roam the edges of the living world, starving, skeletal, and forgotten. Have you ever felt it? That quiet pull at your appetite. You eat and still feel empty. In some dark corners of Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos, they whisper of beings who know that feeling forever. The Preta, tall as trees, with swollen stomachs and mouths no larger than a pinhole. They drift through the night like shadows spilled from a broken god's dream, moaning between the rice fields and temple ruins. They are the embodiment of excess and guilt, but not yours, someone else's. Some say they were once priests who preached compassion but hoarded gold, mothers who starved their daughters out of jealousy, kings who promised rain but sold prayers. And for that, they're reborn not as flames or flesh, but as famished whispers in a world that forgot their names. They haunt temple grounds, not to worship, but to beg. Their arms, impossibly long, hang like vines through the air. If you hear crying beneath your house at night, it's not the wind, it's the Preta. And if you answer, if you speak back, even a whisper, they will know you can hear them, and then they'll never leave. In some parts of rural Thailand, villagers leave sticky rice or rotting fruit by termite mounds, not to feed the insects, but to bribe the hungry ones to stay buried in their shame. But what makes them terrifying is not how they look. It's the feeling that maybe you already know what it's like. The emptiness, the reaching, the devouring of everything, and still never being full. Sometimes I think we are all just a little bit Preta. Section 3. The cry that burns your soul. Phi-tai hong, spirits of those who died suddenly, violently, or unjustly. Their souls are too enraged to pass peacefully, too soaked in terror to rest. They don't whisper, they scream. Sometimes you hear it in the middle of the night, piercing through closed windows, even when the world outside is still. A scream, not quite human, not quite animal. It starts low, guttural, and rises into a sound that doesn't belong in this world. And it doesn't stop, not until someone listens. Phi-tai hong, the cursed dead, those who were murdered, those who drowned with their eyes open, those who died without last words, last rites, or last embraces. They die in confusion, anger, agony, and that's how they stay. Raw, untamed energy bursting at the seams of this world. Not ghost, not spirit, not memory, but a rupture in time. A wound that keeps bleeding through walls, through generations. In Thailand, some monks refuse to chant for these souls. They believe the rage inside them is too strong. It can leap from the spirit realm into yours. So instead, they wrap red string around the trees where the body was found, as if that thread could hold the dead in place. But it doesn't always work. People say Phi-tai hong can follow your scent. If you pass the place where they died and don't show respect, if you laugh, if you whistle, if you step where their blood once soaked the ground, they remember you, and they wait. One woman in Bangkok claimed she saw her fiancé die in an accident, and every night after, she dreamt of him screaming her name, face contorted, voice unrecognizable. She tried to forget. She married someone else, moved cities, had children, and yet, on their wedding anniversary, she woke up with claw marks down her back. She never spoke his name again. Phi-tai hong are not evil. They are the result of evil. They are what happens when cruelty outruns closure, when pain has no witness, when justice forgets. And they don't want revenge. They want you to feel what they felt, forever. Section 2. The spirit who watches through the banana leaves. Tani is a beautiful female ghost remembers her name. They just call her Tani now, the Lady of the Banana Tree. If you walk alone after dusk in rural Thailand or Laos, and you pass a row of banana trees, hold your breath. Look straight ahead. Do not turn if you hear the rustle. Do not answer if she calls your name, even if no one else knew you were there, because that's the thing. She only calls those who are already hollow inside. Men speak of her in whispers. A woman with pale green skin and long black hair, floating just above the ground, always in a green tie dress, her smile thin as a knife. She waits with open arms, but what she gives is not love. It is emptiness, disguised as ecstasy. Her victims are found days later, shivering, eyes wide with madness, unable to speak of what they saw beneath those leaves. Some say she hates men. Others say she loved too deeply, and now she clings to anyone who resembles her lost one. But no one escapes. A monk once told me, "Do not plant banana trees near your house, especially if you have sons. The spirit is too lonely, and the dead, especially the beautiful ones, do not know how to let go." Tani is not rage. She is the ache that lingers after you forget who you are. She is the echo of love twisted into need. She is the green smile you dream about and wake up bleeding. Section 4. The woman with no face. Kuntilanak, also known as Pontianak, is a vengeful female spirit from Indonesia and Malaysia. Often the ghost of a woman who died during childbirth. She appears in white with long black hair, and when she smiles, the night collapses. She waits by the side of the road. Hair so black it absorbs the stars, clothes torn from the grave, and a belly that never stopped bleeding. The Kuntilanak is not a ghost. She is a warning. She is the mother who was forgotten, the woman who gave everything and was left with nothing. And now, she wants it back. They say her scent comes first, the smell of frangipani or decaying flowers. Sweet at first, then sickly. You breathe it in before you realize you've made a mistake. Then you hear the baby crying, but there's no baby, only her. She'll ask you for help in a soft, trembling voice, but don't look too closely at her face, because if you do, if you see what's missing, you'll never forget it. Some say her eyes are gone, others say her mouth stretches far too wide, and when she smiles, it splits through her cheeks like cracked porcelain. But most chilling are those who claim she has no face at all, just a shifting blur of grief and rage. There's an old tale from Java of a man who picked up a woman hitchhiking near a graveyard. She said she lived near the rice paddies, but every turn he took, she was still there in the rearview mirror, smiling, closer, smiling, closer, until she whispered, "I never made it home, did I?" The car was found abandoned. The man was never seen again. Some spirits haunt because they are lost. But Kuntilanak, she knows exactly where she is. She's not looking for peace. She's looking for a witness, someone to carry her pain when she can't scream anymore. And when she finds you, you will scream. Section 5. The one who waits in the jars. Khmer bone spirits. Souls bound to ancient funerary jars in Cambodia. Their breath is the silence between screams. Their thoughts echo from clay sealed centuries ago. Some say they are protectors. Others believe they are prisoners of war, rage, and ritual. There are places in the Cambodian highlands where no birds sing, where the wind refuses to touch the soil, where moss covers round stone jars left half buried in the jungle, like the broken teeth of the earth. Some call them burial urns, others spirit jars. Inside them, ashes, teeth, sometimes bits of jewelry, but also something else, a presence, a waiting. They say some souls never left, not because they couldn't, but because they weren't allowed. You see, during the darkest periods of Khmer history, times when the jungle bled and men disappeared without names, the bodies of the executed were sometimes not given proper rites. To contain the unrest, monks would trap their spirits in jars, sealing them with wax, hair, and blood, hidden, forgotten, until the forest grew old enough to forget the murders, but not the rage. Villagers say the jars breathe, not in air, but in emotion. You don't hear them, but you feel them. Cold that sticks to your bones. Whispers you can't translate. Children born near these places often fall sick. Dogs bark, then run. Pregnant women miscarry. And the worst part, the spirits inside aren't silent. They dream. And when someone walks too close, they share those dreams. Visions of being buried alive, of choking on blood while monks chant indifferently, of trying to scream and realizing your tongue is gone. One girl claimed she woke up with